I'm Andy Mack, and we want to take you out to an event earlier today as Damar Hamlin, the Bills' safety there, is alongside some lawmakers, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer out of New York, as they are unveiling the Access to AEDs Act. Of course, automated external defibrillators, or AEDs, can double as the survival rate for those who experience sudden cardiac arrest, which Hamlin, the Bills' safety, experienced in January during an NFL game. His life was saved in part, at least a little bit, due to the use of an AED. We want to take you out to this press conference here from earlier on Live Now.
And it is really, I'm so honored and humbled in front of the families here to be here. I want to thank, of course, our great representatives, McCormick and Posey, for championing this life-saving legislation in the House, for Sheila Jackson Lee for joining us today, and, of course, my dear friend, fellow Bills fan, Rep. Brian Higgins from Buffalo, New York, and Nancy Brown of the Heart Association as well. Now, of course, here today is Murphy Jensen and Damar Hamlin, who both suffered life-altering cardiac arrests and didn't just recover, but took the heroic route and made their recovery a mission to save others. I had the honor of meeting Lamar and his family, his beautiful parents, Nina and Mario, his brother, Damir, and Cameron and Dominic, his cousins, and we spent some time together. And what a beautiful family of 3 generations. And I was honored, actually, that Lamar gave me this jersey. That's why I'm wearing it. And true to the kindness of this man, the kindness and gentleness of this strong man, he wrote on the back, "Thank you for the love and support." Here, too, of course, is Matthew Mangine, who I met a few minutes ago. He's president of the Mangine Foundation, but more importantly, he's the father of Matthew Mangine, Jr. And the Mangine family went through the worst nightmare, as has been mentioned, I think, by Congressman Posey, that any family could go through when their son collapsed on the soccer field. And he told me that there were 5 AEDs or defibrillators there, but no one knew how to use them. And that's why it's so important in this bill. We not only provide the equipment, but also the training, so people know how to use the equipment and it doesn't lie fallow sitting there. But I told Mr. Mangine, as a person of faith, that our Bible teaches us a lot. And one of the things it is, when something horrible befalls you, the human instinct is to turn inward into darkness and anger. And that's a natural human instinct. But to instead try to prevent what happening to you from befalling others, the Bible tells us is saint-like. It's lighting a candle. I want to salute Mr. Mangine. I want to salute all the other families here who have suffered that loss and know what that loss is like, for lighting that candle. You are truly saint-like people. And when I say I'm humbled to be here, that's the reason. We should thank you all. And that's why today we're introducing legislation to make AEDs in schools and CPR training more available and accessible across the country. The people here with me today, Damar, Murphy, Matt, are the epitome of resilience, perseverance, and bravery, as I mentioned. They've dedicated themselves to making sure no child, no family, no community should go through what they did. For Damar, we all remember, the entire nation, really the entire world, joined together in somber prayer during this tumultuous time in our country. Damar's injury and recovery unified us all. He brought us together, and he's continuing to do just that. I hope you all get to meet him and you can see what both a gentle and strong man he is together, those 2 traits together in a beautiful human being. And we had we talked in our office. I showed him some of the things over there, including my grandson's 4-year-old mobile, but I think of my grandson when I think of this. He loves sports. And I think, what if it happened to him? And it just gets right to you. So, I am thrilled to push for this bill. As Majority Leader, I pledge to all of you here, okay, to the Hamlin family and everybody else. Majority Leader, you got a little bit of clout around here, and I'm going to use that weight to bring my colleagues on both sides of the aisle on board and get this bill become a law and passed this year on the President's desk. My dad, who passed away, taught me a few things. He just passed away about a year ago, but for those of you who are close to your parents, he's still here. And he said, when you're doing something important, look into your heart. Make sure it's the right thing to do. But then if you persist and persist and persist, God will reward you and you will succeed. Together we will persist and we will succeed. So, I'm very happy to be with you here today. The hope is that we never have to do this again after passing life-saving legislation. And as an avid Buffalo Bills guy, I worked hard to keep the Bills from moving out of Buffalo years ago, and they're still there. But as an avid Bills guy, I'd much rather see Damar in Orchard Park, New York, than here, and God willing, that's where he'll be next year. Thank you, everybody. Go Bills!
Thank you, Senator. Buffalo's getting a lot of love today. Up next, Congressman Mr. Higgins.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here. I was given all this statistical information, and I'm just going to kind of set it aside. First of all, I want to thank my colleague, Sheila McCormick from Florida, for having the presence of mind to produce legislation that will gain access to these AEDs, which is a great, great gift. Also, Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas, a friend of mine. She had an incident in her district which motivated her to be here and join us as well. Matthew Mangine, you heard his story about his son and his commitment to helping with this issue as well. And as the representative in the United States Congress for Buffalo, I'm pleased to have Damar Hamlin and his family here. And Chuck had kind of hit on this, and I think it's important. Buffalo, as Damar knows, had a year from hell. We lost 10 individuals, all African American, in a supermarket on Jefferson Avenue. They were shot by a individual that drove 200 miles. It was racially motivated, a white supremacist who now has, well, 10 life sentences. It hurt our community, but it brought it together as well. We had 2 snowstorms, and we had Damar Hamlin's injury, which left a huge impact on Buffalo. And the Greek 7th century tragic poets say that we suffer our way to wisdom. We suffer our way to wisdom. To live is to suffer, to endure the suffering. To transcend it is to give meaning to the suffering. And as Senator Schumer had said, 2 things happen when you're confronted with life-altering tragedy. You're either broken, you retreat into yourself, you become bitter, you become isolated, or you're broken open. You see your family differently. You see your country differently. You see your responsibility to your fellow human beings differently. Damar and Matthew, on behalf of his son, have been broken open. They're here in Washington to promote legislation to help people they will likely never meet and they will never know. But they're using what happened to them, because they have been broken open, to give a contribution to humanity, to our common fellowship to each other. It's a great gift, Damar. Matthew, it's a great gift. So today we give thanks for many things. To Matthew and Damar for the good work that they've done and the work that they will continue to do only for the people and the communities that they love. And finally, we give thanks to a good and generous nation. A good and generous nation that makes this day and all of our days possible. Thank you for including me.
Thank you, Congressman. Now joining us from Texas is Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, co-sponsor of the bill.
Might take a moment of personal privilege. This is the cherry blossoms voice. I've never had the impact of the cherry blossoms, so I want to know, Mr. Hamlin, I want you to know I have a booming voice, but I've been watching too many cherry blossoms as I've walked on the Capitol grounds. But I'm humbled to be here today, and I'm humbled because of my colleague, Sheila, because of the commitment that our majority leader has just made, Mr. Posey, our former Congressman Lawson, Higgins, who gave an important emotional statement of life, and of course Matthew. So let me try to be Shakespearean and a few words from Harriet Tubman. We watched you and your family, Damon, around the world, not just in the United States. And we watched you in the kind of spirited courage that defines this nation. It is that when we're knocked down, we get up. But we also saw the NFL's protocols, which were absolutely amazing, and the Buffalo Bills, to be within seconds to save a valuable life. To Matthew, who has taken his experience and loss to make a life story. I'm here today because we lost a little one who was only 11 years old, loving to play football and playing it in middle school. It is worth one statistic. Up to 80% of athletes who die suddenly had no symptoms or family history of heart disease. A simple defibrillator would provide that shock that would help to save that life. We are here today with the American Heart Association because we believe in life, and we believe in the greatness of our humanity and the courage of Americans. I too see a light in the House of Representatives. There must be 2 houses to pass a bill, and I can see a light brightening. Divided Congress we have, Republicans, majority Democrats in the Senate, and President Biden. As a member who's been here for 28 years and has been on a committee that oversees the NFL, the House Judiciary Committee, and one who encountered the issue of brain concussion some many years ago, I'm standing here today to salute your family with all of my heart. Saw the parents' courage. To Matthew, and to say one thing to the American Heart Association. The spirit of our history connotes courageous moments in the darkest times of our life. This bill represents that bright light of courage in sometimes the darkest times of our life. And to Mr. Hamlin, who I'll call you Mr. Hamlin, I want to make sure you know that history will write the story, that in times that you might have given up, as I watched you at the Super Bowl, as you gave voice to those who could not speak, you charged us to be part of that inevitable march to victory. I've been reading Harriet Tubman. She didn't play football, but she did say, I'll characterize it, if you hear bad news, as she was trying to free those from slavery, don't give up. Just keep on moving. This is legislation that allows us to keep on moving and to save lives. That is what America is all about. I'm with you. I want to save lives. Thank you all so very much.
you. As you all know, this is an event put on by the American Heart Association. So up next, we're going to hear from the CEO of the AHA, Nancy Brown.
Thank you so much, all of you, for being here today on this incredible day and in this incredible moment. Let me start with my heartfelt thanks to Congresswoman Sherfless McCormick. Her work to prioritize heart health is extraordinary, and we couldn't be more thankful to be partnering with you and your incredible team. Thank you so much. We also thank Congressman Posey, Senate Democratic Leader Schumer, Congressman Higgins, and Congresswoman Jackson Lee from my home state of Texas, and all of the other congressional sponsors for your support today as we work to make this bill the law of the land. Other speakers have said I'm going to put the statistics aside, but I'm not going to, because I think they're really important for you to understand. According to the most recent published scientific data, 90% of the 350,000 people who will suffer an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest this year will not survive. So putting that another way, only 1 in 10 people who suffer a cardiac arrest outside of the hospital will not survive. These victims will not even make it to the emergency room to have a fighting chance at life. This is wrong. This can be changed, and this legislation is an important step on the journey to make that a reality. When the world saw Damar's cardiac arrest on Monday Night Football, what they also saw were those very first links in the chain of survival working. Everything happened like it should in a cardiac emergency. Early recognition, calling 911, first responders administering high-quality CPR, access to and using a defibrillator. All of these things happening beautifully are the reason that the wonderful and amazing Damar Hamlin is here with us today. If everyone who suffered an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest like Damar's had that same opportunity to have those links in the chain of survival administered, think of the difference that would make in this world. And that is what this legislation will help us do. This is why, as the worldwide leader in resuscitation science, education, training, and advocacy, and as the official publisher of the guidelines for CPR, we are so honored to be here today and to put everything we have behind this legislation to make it the law of the land. We know that if cardiac arrest emergency response plans were in place, we could reduce deaths from cardiac arrest. We know that if all of the links in the chain of survival, and I'm going to say them again because you can't just pull one of these links out, all of these links are important and must happen. We must have people activate 911. You must begin CPR compressions. We must have an AED nearby and use it. And we have to make sure that persons who are transferred to healthcare systems get high-quality healthcare in the healthcare system they're transferred to. That is the chain of survival, and is what every American deserves to have happen. We know that Congressman McCormick's legislation will make sure that this happens. We are proud to partner with you, with the NFL, and so many others to bring this to life. We hope that all of you will take action as well. Here is my plug. You can text AED to 46839 to urge your lawmakers to join us in supporting this important bill. We have the commitment of amazing leaders of our two houses of Congress here, but voices matter. Every voice will make a difference in this legislation passing, and we really appreciate your support. I also want to thank the brave guests who are here today to tell their story, and we'll hear from them in just a moment. But I have to just say, as the CEO of the American Heart Association for many years, since 2008, among the saddest moments of my days are when I get the phone calls from parents who have lost a child, usually at a sporting event, because there was not, the chain of survival was not available. And the question always is, what can be done so that other families never experience what we have gone through? And I am here to tell you today that this bill is what can be done so that other families don't have to suffer the way that so many families have. And I'm telling you, it is family after family who try in their best way to help make changes in their communities. And as one of these fathers recently said in a piece that we published at the American Heart Association following Damar's event, he said, you know, since my son's tragic loss, we have tried everything we could to make people aware. And in one moment, America is now aware. And so when you think about something good coming from something tragic, that truly is the story of Damar Hamlin. And he is a gentleman who has given a voice to the voiceless. And he carries this not only in his heart, but truly as his purpose and his meaning in life. I remember the first time I met Damar, he said that to me, this is my calling. This comes from a higher place. This happened to me for a reason. And I'm so honored to get to introduce my dearest friend, Damar Hamlin, to all of you today. He is an incredible young man. He's a superior athlete, of course. He has a wonderful, beautiful family who loves him so much, and he loves them so much. And he has devoted his life to making sure that what happened to him, the positiveness of what happened, every step in the chain of survival being there, is afforded to every other person who suffers a cardiac arrest. Damar, will you please come forward and share your comments with people? I know we're all so excited to have you here.
How y'all doing? I'd like to thank Congresswoman Sherflis McCormick of the American Heart Association and Senator, love you, Senator, and everyone here today for a chance to talk about protecting kids from sudden cardiac arrest. There are so many people here to thank, but I really can't speak without first taking a moment to acknowledge several families who are here today that lost a child due to sudden cardiac arrest. I'm humbled beyond words to be here to support each of you and the work that you have been doing to save lives, and I'm grateful to be here for all of that you are doing. I'm here today with a few kids from Pittsburgh who represent what this work is all about. My brother Damar, who's 8, my cousin Cameron Dorsey, who's 10, and my cousin Dominic, who's 11. To me, these kids represent why we are all here today. As I was growing up playing football, I don't recall ever thinking about CPR or knowing where an AED was in my school or on the athletic field. But for those of you with children who play sports, I'd imagine your experience was similar. With my coaches on the field and my family in the stands, we didn't plan what would happen if sudden cardiac arrest should happen to me or one of my teammates. On January 2nd, that all changed for me and my entire family, particularly my mom, Nina, and my dad, Mario, who are here with me today. Thankfully, the medical team with the Buffalo Bills was prepared, and they saved my life. Today, we are so humbled and inspired by what I feel is an opportunity that God has given me to help and protect young people based on what I experienced. So here are some facts that I feel that need to matter to all of us. Sudden cardiac arrest happens to more than 7,000 kids under the age of 18 every year in our country. 7,000 kids every year. The majority of the kids impacted are student athletes, and research shows that 1 in every 300 youth has an undetected heart condition that puts them at risk. For schools that have AEDs, the survival rate for the children from sudden cardiac arrest is 7 times higher. The Access to AEDs Act will help ensure that schools are just as prepared and trained to respond in a time of crisis as those on the sideline of an NFL game. And it will also support the purchase of AEDs for schools and help create cardiac emergency response plans. Combined, these efforts will help protect kids and reduce deaths in schools across the country. So today, I thank each of you for focusing on the idea that every kid should have the same access to a life-saving emergency response that I did, should they need it. Around the world, people have come together to focus on this need, and I'm amazed and encouraged by what we can do together. Thank you all.